Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to share this with you before we start. But before I do start, will you give me a 5B5? That means you can see and hear me. So give me a 5B5 if you can see and hear me. I may later on have to go back onto my face cam, in other words, the laptop's camera. But hopefully you can all see and hear me. I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. Which I'm not sure why. I appear to be live and not going anywhere. There you go. I've now seen some people coming up in there, mainly from YouTube. I'm not seeing anyone on Rumble, which is strange. Can I see anyone on Rumble? For some reason, it's not coming up on my screen. And as you are all aware, the British do not like Rumble at all. And I'm hoping it's going out on all platforms. If not, we're in trouble. All right. All I'm seeing currently is messaging from YouTube, and YouTube is not the place that I want to be. Right. I'm going to play you something I've just put out on Twitter. And I just want to make sure you all understand exactly what I'm saying, right? So we'll put it out there. Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And I want as many people as possible to try and share this. I will copy that message. And I want people to send it to Elon Musk and to real Donald Trump, right? Real Donald Trump, at real Donald Trump, and at Elon Musk. Don't go to any of the fake accounts, right? I'm not being rude, but you're supposed to be English and you're working class. So you can work out a fake account from a real one, right? Well, you should be able to, right? There is nothing fake about my account and my Englishness, right? I have said, and I want everyone to understand this, I will block anyone now that shows the British flag. And if you support the British, you support the demise of England and the destruction of England. I have had enough, right? Enough is enough. You either support a real Englishman and an English party that has the Constitution as its manifesto, or you do not support us at all. Fuck off, right? It's as simple as that. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of the bullshit from people on X, right? That platform has been hijacked by the British establishment to make sure that the English don't come through. And I've had enough of it. So I'm telling you now, I'm almost going to lock my account on Twitter and forget about it, right? Twitter, X, it's all the same bullshit, right? The only place that you can get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth is on Rumble. The guy left Canada and he restarted the whole system in Florida, in the United States of America, right? And he did that for a reason. He has been attacked all over the world. Rumble has been attacked all over the world, and not least of which by the British regime, right? And for some strange reason, Elon Musk also believes that he wants to be something that creates still wants to push forward this federal regime, right? All I'm going to do tonight is be honest with you and tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you exactly the truth on what is going on, right? They are attacking England. If England falls, so does America. It's as simple as that. England is the beating heart of the United States of America, constitutionally. And that is why they seek to destroy us with regionalisation. Farage is not your friend. Ben Habib is not your friend. Tommy Robinson is not your friend. Israel is not your friend, right? They hate the English. It's as simple as that. And I hope that you will all understand this. If you have a British flag in your bio or support the British, stop following me. I'm English only national identity. I have English constitutional rights and common law rights. The British have nothing and intend to destroy England through regionalisation, the same as FEMA regions in America. Wake up. All the bullshit you was told about FEMA regions, they're all to take the bodies to this and this is what they're going to do, that's all rubbish. FEMA regions are being taken out by President Trump. The North American Free Trade Agreement was one of the first things he took down because it was a mirror of the British Union. America was attacked by Britain, right? Or the British, if you want to call it British, right? But not England. And in 1860, I want everyone to listen to what I'm saying. Abraham Lincoln got a statue, pride of place, with two other people on stage at one of the biggest American Communist Party conventions ever. In 1938, Abraham Lincoln was on stage with two others, right, as statues, as deities. And them two others were Lenin and Stalin. Until you realise what you have done to America, stop attacking England. So all I'm going to do now is hopefully share this with you. And you will see it on your screen. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, Daddy Dragon, otherwise known as Graham Moore. As the president of the English Constitution Society and the leader of the English Constitution Party, the name, obviously, Constitution and Constitutionalist and English. England is where the United States of America originally got its constitution from, not from the British. And what I'm seeing online are lots of Americans supporting the British PSYOP. Just to make sure I'm clear, Elon Musk, President Trump, and everyone out there, listen, I'm English. I'm not British. In the same way as Alexander Zelensky told the world that Soviet and Russian are two different things. And to conflate the two is very wrong. In fact, it was one of his biggest bugbears that people did conflate the two. The British attacked America, the United States of America. They attacked English colonies, right, which were actually dominions where you had a great deal of freedom. The American people stood up against the British, raised their hand and said, we want the same rights as an Englishman. So I want to know why Elon Musk and President Donald Trump are still promoting Britishness on their platforms, right? Because let me tell you something. When England is destroyed by regionalisation, by all the people the American regime are supporting, there will be no more America. Go and have a listen to the Kerr case where Antonin Scalia in the Supreme Court, before obviously he was assassinated, I believe, right? What did he say in that? He said the American Second Amendment came from England and the English Bill of Rights. England is a colony of the British, and you are supporting that in America. It's about time you stopped. Every time I see anyone supporting British colonisation of England, right, you are my enemy and you are the enemy of England. In the very same way as the British attacked you all that time ago. The people who left on the Mayflower and before were English, mainly English. The odd Welshman, the odd Scotsman, but mainly English. And you should remember that the British didn't exist until 1706, 1707 as a political union. No different to the USSR, no difference to the European Union. And it was them that attacked you in 1860. It was them that caused the Civil War. Why? Because you had a confederacy, exactly the same as England, where the states or the colonies or the dominions, what were they? They were independent of the British regime and the federal government put in place by the British, who imposed their model of rule upon you after 1860. Get your facts right and get your history right, because you've been brainwashed. And you have been brainwashed by the British to believe in the British psyop. That ends this communication. You can find me on the only free speech platform, which is Rumble. It is not Truth Social. It is not X, who have banned me twice since Elon Musk has been there. Right? Why? Because I'm an Englishman and I believe in English rights and the common law rights of the people of England. That's it. Message ends. So again, people, hopefully you can all see me. My camera has shut down yet again. So I'm hoping to go to my face cam. And it don't look like it's working at the moment. So I might have to reset slightly. Let me take this down and come back up again. Hopefully you can all see this properly. Listen, there's not a lot I can do in the moment. I don't know why the camera keeps cutting out on Rumble, but it does. I'll probably have to go to a different platform for showing this. I think the camera only cuts out on Rumble, right? So there's me binging up Rumble of how great they are, yet the camera cuts out, right? When you share anything on here, it starts to cut out. I don't know why. And I have mentioned it to Rumble. They're not interested, right? Again, I all I'm trying to do is make sure that everyone understands my message. Listen to me carefully, right? If you have got a British flag in your bio, and I'm going to go through the whole of, I don't care what I go down to. I'm not interested in people and their opinions on Britishness, right? I am an Englishman. I only support England. I am about England, not Israel, not Palestine, not the USA, not Germany, not France, not anyone else, but England, right? That's it. Finished. If you believe you are British, Foxtrot Oscar, go away. I am not interested. You are a minority controlling and trying to destroy my country. Have I made myself clear? Right? I am not interested in anybody or anything. The BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, are the #1 biggest propaganda machine in the world. Rumble is not of the BBC. Rumble is about pure truth and truth only. And that is what I try and promote on this channel. If I have to come off of Twitter, if I have to come off of YouTube, because they're all propagandists for the same group of people, I'm not interested. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Good. Because you better be listening to me. Listen, I'm not interested in anyone who thinks they're British. You are a minority. You are the same minority of Soviets in Russia, the Soviets in all these different countries of the USSR. You are the same brainwashed people. What you are is the prerequisite of that. because the British put it in place. The British attacked America. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the last time is in 2016. And if President Trump and Elon Musk cannot understand that, then they don't deserve to be in the position and have the trust of the American people. It's as simple as that, right? I'm about England and the English. I'm about the counties and shires of England. I'm not interested in Scotland. I'm not interested in Wales. I'm not interested in Ireland. I'm interested in England. And the Northern Irish are part of England because they support the English Bill of Rights. Unless people start understanding what's going on and they get it, right? I'm not interested in restore. Anyone contacting me with all these different people, say, oh, these people have been arrested, right? The communists who are controlled and the Marxists who are controlled by the British establishment are well oiled. They are well organised. You're nowhere near where you need to be, right? You're nowhere near it. And every time you raise that British flag on any demonstration, and especially on the 13th of September, you're being pulled into London. Yeah, who's calling you in? Who's the Pied Piper of the British? Tommy Robinson, right? Won't talk to me, not interested in me, right? I'll tell you for why. He's got an Irish passport. He lives in Spain. He doesn't give a flying fuck about you. Go there. Raise your English flags. Tell Tommy Rob, every time he mentions Israel or someone from Israel gets on that stage, boo! Get your little microphones out and boo back at them. Repeat their message so psychologically they can't speak. That's how you destroy that place. Let me tell you something, Tommy Robinson. I've seen London destroyed. I saw London destroyed with my own eyes. Fuck Luton! Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Fuck Luton. I'm not interested in Luton. I'm not interested in you, Tommy Robinson. I am interested in the English only. I'll tell you now, right? This country is on the verge of fucking war because of people like Tommy Robinson, of people like Nigel Farage, of people like Ben Habib, who promotes himself as a British Pakistani, who can't bear to use the name England or English. Them same people told you, are you listening to this, that the COVID jab was safe and effective. The same British regime told you to jab your kids with that jab, a bioweapon, while they were developing it. They developed it and they used it as a weapon against you. That wasn't the English, the Scottish, the Irish or the Welsh. That was the British regime. And the people involved with that was someone called, and I'm going to share it on my screen and go through some of these elements, right? And if it looks like I've got the raving ump, I haven't got the raving ump. I'm just telling you the truth, right? And I'm telling you the truth because you need to hear it direct on the only platform that tells you the truth. Because if you say any of this stuff on X, right, your friend, what's his name, Elon Musk, will cancel the accounts, will take the accounts down. There is your friend, Fauci, a Jesuit educated and a Jesuit accomplice to what's gone on, right? Jesuit educated AIDS researcher awarded Presidential Medal of Freedom, Washington, D.C. Dr. Anthony S. Fauci, an award-winning physician, as far as I know, he's never been a doctor, and AIDS researcher, was among 6 recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom June 19th, in the East Room of the White House. 3 decades ago, a mysterious and terrifying plague began to take the lives of people across the world. Before this malady even had a name, it had a fierce opponent, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said President George Bush. What a load of bollocks. Fauci and 2 other Catholics, former Health Human Services Secretary Donna Shalaya and General Peter Pace, from former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, were among 6 receiving the nation's highest civilian honour. I just want to make sure you're all aware of this, right? Because you need to be aware of this. Georgetown University. Dr. Fauci reflects on how he has lived out Jesuit values in his career. Dr. Anthony Fauci reflected on how his Jesuit training has shaped his decades-long career in medicine and public service during the annual induction ceremony for Georgetown's student-led chapter of Alpha Sigma Nu, the National Jesuit Honor Society, right? He's telling you, everyone's telling you it's the Jesuits, right? It's not just who you think it is. It's these people are evil, right? And the Jesuits, how many times have I told people? And the reason they don't like the Bill of Rights, the English Bill of Rights, is because we banished, in effect, popery. We banished, in effect, the Roman rule of law. We banished, in effect, the Roman Catholics. Now listen to what I'm saying to you, because it's important. There is a group of people that have been strategically going through the law and legal process in the independent United States of America. The original dominions of England in America, now known as colonies, were dominions, and they were Protestant in nature. It is the Jesuits that have infiltrated at every single level. The CIA is known as Catholics in Action. There's a reason why they're called Catholics in Action, because they're associated with the Catholics and the Jesuits, right? I'm not interested in listening to any of these idiots, and especially people like Tommy Robinson, that are bringing you all into London for the bread and circuses of the Roman Empire, which is now literally the violence of the Roman Empire sits directly in London. I can't persuade people that what I am saying is the truth. The only thing I can do is tell you, I mean, if I look at another site, right, and I'm going to show it to you now, right, and then we're going to go through some other bits and pieces, hopefully, and you'll see it, right? But I do not want anyone follow me that's British, right? You are a minority, you're equivalent to a Soviet, you're not a bit of me, right? Get off my platform. Just go away. I'm not interested in you whatsoever. You are part of the 77th Brigade's PSYOP to protect the British regime, to protect the people that are enslaving you, right? To protect the people that have jabbed up your kids, that jabbed up your nan and granddad, right? And the people with turbo cancers and myocarditis and all of the other really extreme adverse reactions to the jabs. That was all part of what they was doing, right? Now, all I'm going to do now is show you exactly what I believe is going on, right? So again, restorationist, I don't know who these people are. I've been promoting them, and like everything else I do, you start to promote these people, they sucker you in, right? And I don't know who they are. Oliver Kerr, the clowns in charge of dismantling Britain, right? Dismantling Britain means creating the British. Politicians change every few years. Their handlers, civil service, permanent secretaries stay the same. Remember these names, right? Warmold, Robbins, Ellen, Bowler, Romeo, Filkenstein, Healy, Wilson, Kelly, Williams, right? The pictures that you see on your screen at the moment from 1701 to 2025, right? I believe all of these people are the enemy of the English. If you ever wanted a target assassination list, there it is on your screen. I don't know the people that have put this out, but they are telling you the truth at the moment, right? By far, the absolute worst human beings in British government history are men you've never heard of. I agree. Nicholas Macpherson and Guy O'Donnell. Macpherson and O'Donnell, do they sound like English names? These two demonic ghouls are quiet architects of British doom, collecting comfortable salaries from an armchair in the home counties, despite being responsible for the catastrophic implosion of our country. I hope they're talking about England, because the Union, the British Union, is not a country. It is a political union. Implosion of the country. Macpherson was the Treasury man for almost 2 decades, 20 years, running the imaginary mass immigration to GDP pipeline. O'Donnell was Blair and Brown's hitman, responsible for the systematic vandalism of the Constitution, who continued it under Cameron. David Cameron is 100% a traitor to this country, and so are the Tories, right? O'Donnell, who made clear his hostility to Brexit, is on record saying the following: when I was at the Treasury, I argued for the most open door possible to immigration. I think it's my job to maximise global welfare, not national welfare. Both of these men, along with dozens of others, have been given honours for what they've done with our tax funds. Copen has exhaustively documented the map of these diagenic wreckers over the last 30 years, who are far too many to list here. The evil little proteges don't like the limelight, so perhaps it's time they had some. This is why I like this website, right? The civil service rat's nest. There's no great conspiracy here. BBC comedy has been documenting the vile behaviour of the administrative state for 40 years. The civil service began in 1855. Remember the mid-1800s? Karl Marx and the communists and the Fabian Society via the Northcote Trevelyan Report as an administrative class to deal with political corruption, but has mutated out of all definition into its own organism with its own plans. The scam is simple. Politicians rotate every 5 years, but their managers, i.e., their permanent secretaries, Jeremy Hayward, for example, was a Fabian, stand on for 20 years in the same department. No matter who you vote for, you get the same permanent secretary doing the work and orientating it towards the same goals. Their workforce increases every year, no matter how it is decreased by politicians. And there's all the details. You can see everything that you want to see, right? Chris Warmold. It's a slug could assume human form, it would materialise in the shape of Chris Warmold, known for his spectacular incompetence and derision towards ordinary families. He is the walking, talking embodiment of the Peter Principle. He was the permanent secretary for Education 2012 to 2016, then Health and Social Care 2016 to 24. During COVID, colleagues say he is devoid of any charisma or vision. More recent, his reign has been described as disastrous and insipid. Wormald is cabinet secretary, the most powerful job in government. Now let me ad lib here. There was a particular Royal Marine who was very senior in the Royal Marines. He also gathered intelligence about what was going on and who was doing what. I can tell you now that when that person started to talk out against these people and what they were doing and how they were doing it, he was suicided. I want you to understand what I'm telling you. These people are ruthless. They don't care about it. In fact, they want to destroy England, right? Wormald is a company secretary, the most powerful job in government, and the cabinet secretary. Now, Jeremy Hayward was an executive member of the Fabian Society. You can find all this information on the daddydragon.co.uk channel. I've been talking about this for years, not for the last 5 minutes, not just because of COVID, but for years and years and years, trying to educate people of what's going on, right? The most powerful job in government and the head of the civil service. The Cabinet Office was set up as an administrative unit in 1916 after 1911. 1911 Parliaments Act was put in place by the Fabian Society and the communists in this country to destroy our constitution, right? The English constitution. It's why Churchill stood as an English constitutionalist. In 1916, without any legislation and should not exist. There is not much you can say about this worm of a man. Dominic Cummings hasn't put it more beautifully, right? So again, we're talking about Dominic Cummings, right? So it is a truly beautiful artistic appointment to appoint as the most powerful official, a role 100 times more powerful than ministers other than the PM. The official who told us all in Q1 2020 that we were the best prepared country in the world for COVID, who was responsible for the PM being told by then Cabinet Secretary on Thursday the 12th of March to go on to TV to advocate for people holding chickenpox parties so that as many as possible caught COVID as fast as possible. The official who has provided over the implosion of the NHS and A&E. The person who spoke out and said on the 12th of the 3rd 20 that chickenpox parties was madness and explained that the official plan was a farce was Ben Warner. So Wormald then tried to block Warner attending SAGE meetings. And in the fake inquiry, when asked why, he said, I was implementing the lessons from the Iraqi inquiry. Even on Wednesday, the 18th of March, Wormald wrote to the Cabinet Secretary, what's the point of doing anything much? The National Health Service will be smashed anyway. We just have to accept 500k to 1 million dead with our world-leading plan. NB, the media has censored this email given by me to the inquiry. It will get no coverage by the mainstream media who will be desperate to access as always. Just as the Cabinet Office censored my evidence to the inquiry over lab leak and the intelligence services, look at the whited out page, which they also did not allow the judge to read. Today, they should wake up and call all investors in the UK and young talent The Westminster system is totally determined to resist any change and will continue all the things of the past 20 years that have driven us into crisis. The war of Whitehall on the productive and civilized forces in this country will continue to the knife. Right? Catherine Little, all these people are named. You should go and read this, right? Understand what it is. Listen, I'm not interested in the British. The guy's talking about Britain, right? I'm talking about England, and they are destroying England as Marxists, right? Everyone should understand that. So again, I'm going to put this information out. Right, go and read it and understand, because what you've got is a list of people. That's exactly what I've called for in the past. Someone to promote a list of who these people are, right? It's a sad thing to say, people, but I will die for England. I will not die for the British. I will not die for communism, but I will save this country, right? And people out there better start fucking waking up. If you go on a protest, expect to get arrested by the British and banged up, right? Because it is the British regime that is attacking you. Stop flying their flag, right? And what I'm going to do now is show you something else. This is a document by a group of people that have strategically gone around the independent states of America, because the states are independent. They have an independent governor and independent judiciary. They have the federal element that has taken control, the same as the British, right? Because it comes from the British, right? The federal system is the bad system. The Confederacy system is the original United States of America, right? Independent states. United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Fort Worth Division. Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency. I follow this group and what they've been doing strategically. I am about the law. I'm not interested in the politics, but I am looking at the law. Now, these people have again and again and again, and I'm going to take you all the way down to the bottom just one more time, to the conclusion, because it's the conclusion that's the most important part. These people, on a number of occasions since COVID, have put applications in for discovery of Pfizer, Moderna, and other people or firms that were creating these antidotes to COVID. Remember, for hundreds of years, there's been no antidote to cancer, no antidote to all these different things. Although there have been natural remedies to scurvy, for example, which was vitamin C, and it's why we're called limeys, meaning the English. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of this. Because you need to be aware of this. President Trump has then created, and let me see if I can bring it up on our screen, right? Because people need to understand what this is about, right? And everyone needs to understand. Ben Habib is not the answer to your problems. Tommy Robinson is not the answer to your problems. Do you all understand that? Right, and all of the time you're going on marches and doing all these silly things, you are cutting your own throats, because you are not organised. You do not understand your English constitutional and common law rights, because the British are the ones who have removed them. They are still there, but you need to claim them. And all the time you're playing silly buggers saying you're protecting your kids. You are not, right? You are lethal towards your kids, in the same way as if you had a jab and you was a young parent, you've sterilised yourself, right? These people know exactly what they're doing. And the main people behind this are the Jesuits. Let me just make sure I can bring this up. And hopefully I will be able to bring it up on the screen, because everyone needs to see this. Right, so I'm going to bring this up on the screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, right? So I'm going to cross over to my main screen, cross back over to that, and then I'll cross back over to this, right? Hopefully I can bring it in. Let's stop sharing. Right, let me bring this in. WhatsApp, bring that one in. Right, there it is on your screen. Right, it is very important that the drug companies justify the success of their various COVID drugs. Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Others disagree. With CDC being ripped apart over this question, I want the answer, and I want it now. Well, you should go and ask Fauci. He was literally educated by the Jesuits. And who was the last person who was educated by the Jesuits? Oh, I know. That geezer called Stalin. He was a Jesuit. Did you know he was educated by the Jesuits? I want the answer, and I want it now. I have been shown information from Pfizer and others that is extraordinary, that they never seem to show those results to the public. Why not? They go off to the next hunt and let everyone rip themselves apart, including Bobby Kennedy Jr. and CDC, trying to figure out the success or failure of the drug companies' COVID work. They show me great numbers and results, but they don't seem to be showing them to many others. I want them to show me them now to CDC and the public and clear up this mess, one way or the other. I hope Operation Warp Speed was brilliant, as many say it was. If not, we all want to know about it and why. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter. Right? He slightly changed what he said. Normally he says, thank you for your attention for this matter. He said this very important matter, President Donald Trump. Now, again, I'm going to go back to sharing this with you. This is just one of the discovery protocols that have been put forward in many of the states in the United States of America. And there's a group of people that I follow that I've been reading all of the legal information that they've been sending out to people that are interested in what's going on. In other words, the ones who have not been brainwashed into believing the state is all powerful and the state knows best, and instead have been going for the right information. I'm going to read to you what this judge has said in his statement, right? Mark T. Pittman, United States District Judge in Texas. Conclusion. The liberties of the people never were, nor ever will be secure. When the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. Jonathan Elliott. The debates in the several state conventions on the adoption of federal constitution, as recommended by the General Convention at Philadelphia in 1787, at 16970, edition 1881, statement of Patrick Henry. The judge then says, the COVID-19 pandemic is long past, and so has any legitimate reason for concealing from the American people the information relied upon by the government in approving the Pfizer vaccine. For the reasons set out above, plaintiff's cross motion for summary judgment is granted, and the FDA's motion for summary judgment is denied. It is ordered that the FDA shall produce the responsive EUA file on or before June 30th, 2025. Now, this has gone on for years, so ordered that on 6th day of December 2024. So this was finally put in as an order, and there's many of these throughout the United States, the independent states of America. And Pfizer and others of these companies have had to give the real information about their trials and adverse reaction data that they had. There was a particular file, I believe it had something like 600,000 adverse reaction, including many deaths during the trials, right? And that information was withheld, not shown to President Trump. So Pfizer and others had the information, but did not show President Trump, the real information. President Trump now knows through discovery, and by the way, these people, via the laws in America, if they lie, they get a 99-year sentence and something like $100 billion fine for every time they lied, right? It's a massive thing, right? This information was released just before June 30th, 2025. And in them database of records and all of the records that's contained in them, it tells you the truth. July this year, August this year, by the end of August, President Trump is making a statement online and on Truth Social. In effect, I want to know the truth and I want this information now. The information is related to these strategic legal firms, right, that have got nothing to do with the federal government, have got nothing to do with Pfizer and the drug companies and pharmaceuticals, and they are telling you the truth, right? And there's one other person that has been telling you the truth all the way through, Dr. David Martin, right? So I'm hoping he's going to come on the show. Whether or not he's going to be in here or not is another matter. I hope he is, but he's busy, and I've been busy all day doing different things. Let me have a look. I'm not getting any response. Let me ask the question on Rumble. Can you see and hear me? Do you understand what's going on? Right? I am sick and tired of X, right, promoting Britishness and pulling back from not actually telling people the truth, right? So you've got Elon Musk telling people this is the truth platform. Why have they banned me twice? I want to know the answer to that, right? Because I'm an Englishman that cares about the people. I'm not interested in the British regime. I want to know the truth, and I tell people the truth when I read through all these documentations to make sure we're all clear on this, right? And let me go back because I'm going to try and pick up who these people are that I'm getting the information from. So it's called ICAN, ICAN. And I get their mail shots and I read through them. You all know that I read law, right? So everything I'm getting through from them, I'm actually reading it. And every time I see a different one in a different area, I can see the legal strategy that they're putting forward all over the United States of America. And all it needs is someone like me and them, but me withstanding, to try and push this forward, right? As it's called a class action in America. In this country, it's called something different, which is basically a group litigation order. The British have literally tried to destroy England. It's the British that took away your copyhold rights. That means that farmers are now they're having their farms taken off them because they can't afford the tax, inheritance tax, etc. None of that should exist. Who abolished copyhold rights in 1925? The British. Who in 1929 abolished grand juries? The British. Who now wants to abolish the juries? The British, right? Understand what I'm trying to tell you constitutionally. I'm there for you, not for anyone else. So again, you need to understand who these people are. And if I can, I will do it. Let's see if I can actually copy this. If anyone wants to go and follow these people and understand what's going on, you need to, let me put this on there. This is the people, right? I don't know if Dr. David Martin knows of them. I'm sure he does. But they're certainly getting more groundwork covered, and they're doing it strategically and by stealth. And then every time they get all that information put forward, it's being presented to Bobby Bobby Kennedy Jr., and then they're presenting it to President Trump and say, that's what you was told, that's what's actually happened, right? Two different things. And what you're going to see is the lead people involved with this are the Jesuits, right? Whose oath is to destroy the Protestant religion and Protestants and moderate Catholics. They hate us with a vengeance. And that's why they won't talk of the Bill of Rights. That's why when we mention the Bill of Rights and the English Bill of Rights and we put these speeches out and people, as soon as they hear English Bill of Rights, they shut it down, right? It's the Jesuits. The Jesuits were the ones who caused the civil war in Switzerland in 1848, the Sunderland Civil War. Who was banned from Switzerland? The Jesuits. So understand what's going on. So I'm not entirely sure whether or not our friend is going to come up and speak to me or not, but there's plenty going on. Let's have a quick look. I'm going to have to go back to my normal screen and see if I can read through some of these messages, because the messages are not coming through on Rumble. So on Rumble, do you all understand what I'm saying? Listen, people, right? On Rumble, I need you to, on Twitter, on Rumble, on all of these platforms, I need you to get on there and retweet, download, do what you need to do. But you need to put this information out so President Trump and everyone else needs to understand that this video needs to be retweeted. You could, and if you do a quote and say Elon and put at Elon Musk, listen, people, do your research. Don't be sending it to a fake account, right? Real Donald Trump and Elon Musk. There is nothing else there. It's Elon Musk. And if you send that information out, they will understand and they will watch that video, because they have been supporting the British who are attacking them. And they've never stopped attacking them. Why are they supporting the British? The English, with an English constitution as their manifesto, are trying to stand up, and we are being literally shut down on all of these platforms. And we need to know why. I'll tell you for why. It ain't just the Jews, and there are bad Jews out there, right? There are very bad Jews out there, right? And them people are not what I describe as real Jews. They're either crypto Jews, and they do exist. It's not nonsense. It's not a conspiracy theory. Read history. You will find out that them people that are crypto Jews infiltrated everyone. That Sabbatine levy, right? The Sabbatines, the Frankists, and the Demise, right? Who infiltrated Islam. That's where you're getting this from. And the Jesuits are at the core of it, because it's the Roman Empire. And that is why President Putin has said, we are not part of your Roman Empire. We don't want to be part of your empire. Leave us alone, right? And people need to understand one thing, right? When President Putin gave a ring from one of the grandmother of one of the czars to Melania Trump, that meant something. That wasn't just a token ring, right? And the Russians stood by the United States of America and tried to help them against the British regime, the British oligarch, right? And I am fucking sick and tired of seeing that British flag being flown, right? Anyone in the British military, you need to understand, it is the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service of the British, that are prosecuting you currently. Do you understand that? It is the British that have allowed you to be homeless on the streets. Do you understand that? Someone needs to get to these people and tell them the truth. Is there a way of lawfully to remove the current parliament? There's always a way in English law, but you need to rise up. But what happens is these people who are disorganised and supporting reform, for fuck's sake, in Epping, right? Or supporting Advance in Epping, or supporting the Homeland Party in Epping, right? They are all supporting the enemy of the people, the British regime. Ben Habib is not your friend. He's told you he is a British Pakistani. How many times have I got to say it to people? Do you all get what I'm saying? Right? I'm not being, listen, you can think I'm the bad guy. You can think anything you like. I've been doing this a long time. I'm an Englishman. I am not British. I am English. If you all sit out there and think to yourself, why is it I can't put English on an official document? The same as the Soviets did. They've removed your identity and imposed upon you an identity that you didn't want. And they did it by stealth. We lost the war in 1945. We didn't lose the war against the Nazis. We lost against the communists. I'm not suggesting in any way that the Nazis were good people, right? But the 3 meter enemy then won. We defeated the 1 meter enemy, authoritarianism, as in Nazis, and then we lost against the communists. Let me see if there's any questions. They love to plaster the Union Jack over everything to law. I can't, that's going too quick on my comments, but that's the end of the day. Listen, I'm sick and tired, right? And I'm sick and tired of not being supported by any of these so-called businessmen. All these businessmen have been raping this country from profit. If you go back through history, you see exactly the same thing happening again, right? And so look at Essex. The peasants' revolt started in Essex over tax. And then what have you got? You've got British leaders of fake English parties, and I'm talking about the English Democrats, right? Declaring, oh, you can't do that, it's illegal. Fuck off, right? Our English history tells us with the whole tax. That's why they brought in PAYE, so they could permanently rob you. So you had, one of the main methods of you withdrawing consent was to stop paying tax. It's disgusting. What has Trump done? The reverse. He's saying any working class people earning under 200 grand a year don't have to pay a tax. How would you like some of that? Leave my rights alone, Prophet. New Age Temper, enter name here. I don't know what that means. I'm getting very little messaging coming up here. Is everyone getting it? Listen, I'm asking again. Like this show, like it. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitter, whatever you're on, like it, right? Go back to that tweet and en masse retweet it yourself, quote it, and put in there, Elon Musk, have you seen this? Real Donald Trump, have you seen this? You've got to do it properly, right? And then make sure it's not to fake accounts and he can start to see what's going on. That's all I'm asking. EU scum too, Graham. They're all scum. A lot of them are scum. Nigel Brumley, DD, what do you think about the LaRouche organisation? I agree with a lot of what they say. There's a couple of few people. There's that new group that's taken over at the moment, and they've made some comments about me being too legalistic. They sound very common law on the lab on what they're doing. They're not interested in any of the Q stuff, and a lot of the Q stuff is the original Q stuff was just telling you where to look. Don't look here, look there. They wasn't telling you anything other than that. They was just saying, look at this information and look at that information, and it built a movement. So there's a lot. Again, they've never contacted me. I've put my hand out to them a few times. They're not interested in me, so I don't trust them, is the answer. I don't trust anyone that doesn't like other opinions being put out there. I'm sick of the British. I'm sick of the British regime. I'm sick of the British monarchy and what it's doing. I'm sick of Americans, right, telling me I'm British, right, when it was the British that attacked them in the first place. And the British have now taken over the United States of America. That's exactly what they've done. And whether it is a combination, which I believe it is, of the three J's, the Jesuits, the Jews, and the jihadists, that's exactly what's gone on. And England is about to be destroyed unrecognisably. England is going to be destroyed. There is no more England. It's gone, right? And the reason for that is because the propagandists, not just of the BBC, but they've got hold of the larger accounts, right, to promote Britishness, right? It is the British regime that is winning this war at the moment. And England ain't going to last much longer. I can tell you that. And I've said this before, and I've received loads of hate mail. You deserve to have your kids fucking raped, right? Because you won't listen to a normal, everyday, working class man who has studied this stuff for fucking years and read it, and then you've got people that sit there and talk like they've got a plum in their mouth, right? Oh, that's illegal, right? That's your problem. It's always going to be your problem. You're always going to listen to the person who is promoting the Britishness and putting an English flag up, instead of having an Englishman standing up and saying, that's wrong, and that's wrong. And the people that are attacking you now, right, are British. And many of the people in positions of power in this country, and I speak of MPs and I speak of highest places in the judiciary, including judges, are Jewish, right? They are Jewish, and they are allowing this to happen. And that only happened from 1857, when they had the Jews Relief Act, and they put a new oath system in, and the first person elected after that was Rothschild. And the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, etc., it's been out there, it's on my timeline. Go and have a read in the Fabian Society, and you'll see who controls the Labour Party. It was the Fabian Society that created the Labour Party. That's exactly what you've got now. And the people just won't listen to it because they've been brainwashed. And again, what you're seeing, I don't just want to make sure everyone's aware of this, right? The only reason the people in Epping are getting the ump is because the people of Rotherham and the people all of the places up north that have been raped and literally pillaged by these people, that these people have been put in position that whether they be Afghani, Pakistani, any type of Islamic, right, and Wahhabism, and we've conquered you, right? That's their opinion. They've conquered us. And it's been allowed to happen by Jewish MPs and the Jewish judiciary system, right? And until you wake up to that, not all Jews are bad Jews. And that's the bit that won't be put out here, right? Not all Jews are bad Jews, but they're not standing up. Not everyone in Islam, right, is a bad person, but they won't stand up. But it's your kids being raped. This system created everything, the education system, the slow march through the institutions, the whole system. That's what happened. Well, it looks like, I don't think David Martin's going to be coming on because I haven't had anything to come through on the link yet. I'll go and have a quick look and see what's going on. But if not, I'll be calling it a night. Let me have a quick look and see what's going on. Let me see if I can read some of these questions. Only put questions into the moderator group, because otherwise I won't be reading them. The emojis don't work. Look, a lot of us are already following. If you click the follow, nothing happens. Are they changing, updating it, do you think? Snap the same, the lot of us. Let me have a look. Will not sack the Jack Brick. The British can lick my crack. That can only come from you. Why did you put that in there? Question. Graham Moore referenced Sarah Eppin's speech, Bill of Rights 16.8. Juicy and Lucy. Other channels have edited out the Bill of Rights, but only DD put the whole speech and proves they don't like the Bill of Rights. I understand that at all. They're taking out the Bill of Rights because it is Jesuit inspired. Everything that's going on in this country now is Jesuit inspired, aligned with the Jews, right? Because they know if we go back to being English, certain groups of people could not control this country. And that's why they don't like it. Let me have a look. I am. Where can I research case law from 1800s? Anywhere you want. Go and research it. Just there's lots of places you can research the case law. Bill of Rights 1688. Din Bain as well. Chan, we need to fight for the English Bill of Rights. There you go, Mark. You've hit one. Ready? We need to fight for the English Bill of Rights. Ian Scott, is there a way of lawfully to remove the current parliament? There is always a way of us taking back control from tyranny. But the problem you've got is the British will not ever promote that, right? It's the English who will do it. And I'm sick to death of people waving the British flag. That they have literally got British Stockholm derangement syndrome. And if they're that thick that they can't even listen to what people are telling them, then I'm not interested in them. And let me tell you something, if you get 10 years, right, for standing on a protest and you don't know your rights, so be it. And if your kids get raped in the meantime, so be it, right, because you don't understand your rights. Scrap the we need, it doesn't need it. Chant, we need that. Let me have a look. We have got a special guest tonight. No, because I don't think he's turning up. Man in America, Trump just shocked the world by demanding Big Pharma come clean on COVID shots, a move that could finally crack open the warp speed narrative in explosive interview. I sit down, right? So I don't know what's going to happen there. All I'm doing is trying to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm not interested in anything else, right? It is crucial that you understand one thing from me. And that is literally, I am not interested. Let me adjust that slightly. I am not interested in British or Britishness. I'm not interested in any of that, right? You're literally going to get your kids raped all over this country, murdered all over this country. They're importing weapons all over this country, and they don't do it. Like, oh, a box has turned up at my, and you're watching all these videos. Like you're, I don't know what it is. How do you listen? The British government allow containers through full of weapons through our ports, right? And they are delivered. That whatever happens to them containers are allowed to go through exactly as the cocaine runs. It's run by these people. The people that get convicted for gun running, the people get convicted for cocaine importation, right? They're cannon fodder. They all think they're clever. They're not clever, right? They're not clever at all. The people really running drug importation and gun importation to literally the people that are literally about to create a massive slaughter of the English in this country, it is the British government doing it. With the okay of the British government, with the okay of the British military, right? And military intelligence. That's exactly what's going on. And if you don't understand that, it ain't my problem, it's yours. Leave my lights alone. What is birth language? I don't understand what any of that is. Listen, the other thing is, I'm not interested in any of your common law of the land shit. And I'm a living man. Someone sent me a video yesterday. I just blocked him. I know I'm literally going to be going through all of my account on Twitter and blocking if there's anyone with a British flag on their bio in any way or form, a British, Israeli, Ukraine flag in their bio that's following me, you're all getting blocked. I don't care if I go back to 200, right, followers. I am not accepting any of them people watching or listening to me. Fuck off. You're far gone. You're too far gone, right? And you're the people who are helping to destroy this country. We need to be very interested in the British and how to flush them out of the sewers where they belong. The British don't need flushing out. They're very simple to go and have a look at. Ben Habib is a British Pakistani promoting British and only the British. He only talks about Northern Ireland. It's all bullshit. Right? If you knew the history of this country, you would know that the Northern Irish stand up and support the English Bill of Rights. And the English Bill of Rights, and it protects the Protestant religion, and it is the Jesuits that want to take that down, as well as the Jews. There's two teams that play together, and all they're doing is using Islam as the broom, right? That's exactly what's going on. The old, let me have a quick look at this. The old man OAP, right? I don't care what anyone else says. I'm not interested. This channel is about England and England only. And if you want to be the nice guy to everyone, that's fair enough, right? But don't come fucking running to me when you get nicked at protesters, right? And you're listening to British lawyers, British solicitors, and the Brits telling you you can't do this and you can't do that. Let me have a quick look. Right, it looks like the special guest is not appearing unless he's going for a wee first, or he's just finished another show. But I don't think he's coming on. I'm not sure when I can be available again for any of this stuff, or whether we need to have a private conversation first. Jason, Peter Reardon, it's funny they call it English devolution, very specific when they want England destroyed, not British devolution, is it? Well, again, people don't realise when you talk about devolution, what actually happened is the regionalisation. In regionalising Scotland, removing the 7 constabularies of and now they've got a police state in Scotland, and the Scots don't even realise what's happened to them. That's how fucking thick the Scots are, right? They don't even realise what's happened to them. And the people doing that are mainly Scottish. They're overrepresented in the British Parliament. There is absolutely no English people in that British Parliament. None. Zero, right? You had a chance of electing the very first English parliamentarian ever to stand up for the English constitution and your rights. And that was with me when I've stood in a number of elections. And they cheat in the elections. We're robbed of our ballot, which is our property. Peterloo is a good example of that. We stood up and demanded our vote as normal, everyday working people. What does that mean? It means you weren't farmers. You weren't yeomanry. You didn't support the regime. You were tradesmen. You were carpenters. You were bricklayers. You were cobblers. And I don't mean people making shoes, but people who make shoes. I'm talking about the people who built cob houses, right? Which were not much different from mud huts, to be honest with you. And all them people and all them trades, etc. They destroyed every English regiment. I think there's only 1, maybe 2 left out of something like 300 English regiments. That's how bad this is. And again, we got the Americans that just promote it. So I'm just fed up with it. I've got banned. What did you get banned from? Let me tell you something now, giving a warning to anyone. If you've got, I'm going through my complete account over a week, maybe 2 weeks, it might take me. And anyone with a British flag is being not just taken off, not following. I am completely blocking them. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them not having the intelligence to understand what is going on. Time to write that book. No, I agree. And I'm fed up. X is not the platform to be on. The platform to be on is Rumble. It is continuously attacked by the British and the regimes all around the world. You can see that, right? That tells you there's proof in the pudding to keep pushing forward with Rumble, even though their Rumble studio doesn't work properly for me. But I will find another way of doing it. That's it. I am going to say good night, God bless, and I'm going to be off. I don't think. I think that'll be the end of it. That's it. Good night. God bless. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution, and it is 100% the English Constitution. I'm going to leave you again with the image of this on your screen because I think it's important. And the image of this on your screen, literally, is the conclusion from a judge in Texas, right? Don't forget, Texas is a common law jurisdiction. Conclusion: the liberties of the people never were, nor ever will be, secure when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. Jonathan Elliott. The debates in the several, and this is where it come from, the debates in the several state conventions on the adoption of the federal constitution. You should never have instituted a federal constitution. It was always a confederacy in America, as recommended by the General Convention of Philadelphia in 1787 at 169 70 ED 1881. Statement of Patrick Henry. And then the judge says this: the COVID-19 pandemic is long past, and so has any legitimate reason for concealing from the American people the information relied upon by the government in approving the Pfizer vaccine. For the reasons set out above, plaintiff cross motion for summary judgment is granted and FDA's motion for summary judgment is denied. It is ordered that the FDA shall produce the responsive EUA file. And again, all of this information is available now, right? You can go and download it. But again, they've distracted everyone into, again, looking at bullshit. President Trump is now being presented with two sets of data. One, what he was told, a lie by Anthony Fauci and co., and one that has now been found in discovery in the real law courts of America, the common law courts of America, which are actually telling people the truth at pain of serious length of imprisonment if they told a lie and didn't produce that information, and two, massive fines. And all I'm saying to everyone out there, if you don't think nothing's happening, right, the only thing that's happening is these people have started to panic, right? Remember what I said. The main investigator in Russia against the Ukrainian, and remember that Fauci had again, I've said this before, Fauci had, you cannot, make sure I'm clear on this, you cannot pardon treason against the president, and whether it's against the king, it doesn't matter who it is, you cannot pardon treason. Fauci was given a pardon going all the way back to 2014. And the public are saying, why? Why 2014? Because all of this and gain of function goes well back before then, and people need to understand what's going on, and it's all coming out, right? And when it comes out, people will be shocked, but there's lots of information they're not going to be giving you, and they won't give it to you on the mainstream media. They won't give it to you on alternative media, right? Because they're all bought and paid for, like Tommy Robinson, right? The people who will be telling you the truth will be people like me and Dr. David Martin and others, right? I've never lied to you. If I make a mistake, I'll tell you, and I'll say I need to correct that for whatever reason. I've done it in the past, right? I've apologized for people and said maybe I was wrong with that, right? But I am telling you now, do not support the British regime. If you do, you are supporting the literal destruction of England with regionalisation, and British Pakistani Ben Habib is exactly that person, right? And Farage is the same person. So if anyone can send me, there was a link sent out earlier and I didn't see it, where Elon Musk was saying that Farage is too weak. Farage isn't weak. He knows what he's doing, right? And he is supporting the British regime that have attacked America on more than one occasion. In fact, 3 times, literally, that we know of. That's it. Good night, God bless, and I am now off. I will see you all tomorrow night, and hopefully you'll understand exactly what's going on. And I will say, let me put that one on. That's the best one I think I can put on at the moment. I'm going to take my camera off and say good night, God bless. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. And the American Constitution came from England, not the British.